Commander Grey was a clone commander who served under Jedi Master Depa Billaba and her apprentice Caleb Dume in the final months of the Clone Wars. Commander Grey fought at the Battle of Calla against the Separatist army, before turning on his Jedi General and executing Order 66. So I'll break down the entire story of Commander Grey and why he couldn't finish Order 66. So before we get into it, remember to hit the subscribe button with notifications on for more awesome Star Wars lore content. At the moment, only 14% of you who are watching this video are subscribed. So if you do enjoy the content, remember to subscribe for more. Commander Grey, just like every other clone, was born on the planet Kamino, where he was given the serial number CC10994. He began his service in the Grand Army of the Republic as a clone commander at the Battle of Harun Kal, where he led a battalion of his clone brothers. Unfortunately, the battle was a severe failure, with Commander Grey losing almost every member of his battalion. Grey and his Jedi General, Depa Billaba, were able to escape the battle with one of the lower-ranking clones named Captain Styles. Following this, Depa Billaba, Commander Grey, and the newly rescued Captain Styles then formed a brand new battalion after their tragic loss on the planet. Following that, the newly formed battalion of survivors had their first mission on the planet Cardoa, and were now accompanied by Master Depa Billaba's new apprentice, Caleb Dume, who later went on to become Kanan Jarrus from Star Wars Rebels. On the planet Cardoa, the battalion's mission was to investigate the surface of the planet to determine whether or not the Separatists had reached it yet. While they were searching a major canyon on the planet, a massive explosion blasted the area, killing many members of the newly formed battalion. Immediately after this, B-1 battle droids began to flood the canyon and attack Billaba and Commander Grey's battalion. Fortunately, Commander Grey narrowly escaped death with the help of his Jedi General and the other clones. After the escape from Cardoa, Commander Grey's battalion were moved to the planet Mygeeto, where they were given the order to reinforce Republic forces at the Third Battle of Mygeeto. During the battle, Master Billaba and troopers Styles and Stance were trapped on a platform surrounded by a horde of battle droids. When Grey was alerted to their danger, he rushed to the scene to rescue them, but arrived to find that they had already been saved by Mandalorian protector Fen Rao and his Skull Squadron. Following this, the small group that Commander Grey rescues returns to their base camp to recover, but unfortunately they were quickly ambushed by General Grievous. Grievous was accompanied by Separatist Colonel Coburn Sear and a number of other battle droids who tragically killed Trooper Stance. After Grievous began to attack the base camp, Grey called for reinforcements while Depa Billaba fought Grievous, and Caleb Dume fought Colonel Sear. Dume eventually defeated Colonel Sear, and Billaba forced Grievous to flee from the battle with his battle droids. Now we move into the tragic final mission of Commander Grey. As his battalion arrived on the planet Calla, they engaged in a fierce battle against Separatist forces. General Cleave was the leader of the droid army on the planet and eventually was forced to surrender the planet to the Republic because of the overwhelming force of the clones. The locals on the planet were not happy with either the Republic forces or the Separatist forces because they didn't see any difference between them. As they returned to the base camp later that night, Depa Billaba and Commander Grey began to argue over why she would not stand up for herself when the locals claimed that the Republic was just as bad as the Separatists. Before the argument could continue, however, Commander Grey received a chilling call on his comms device. He then moved away from the main camp to answer the hologram call, where he was greeted by Chancellor Palpatine. The haunting words, "Execute Order 66" were spoken by Palpatine, activating the inhibitor chips in the brains of every clone in the Republic. Unknown to the clones though, Depa Billaba had received the same Force vision as Master Yoda had received on Kashyyyk, warning her of the impending doom and preparing her for the situation. Billaba and Caleb Dume were forced to kill many of their clones, including ones that they had formed deep friendships with, in order to survive. Commander Grey then ordered the rest of his men to surround the two Jedi, causing Billaba to warn her apprentice to run. Caleb Dume managed to rush out of the campsite to relative safety, but Depa Billaba was unfortunately shot in the back multiple times by Commander Grey and the other clones, killing her immediately. In the days after Order 66 was given by Chancellor Palpatine, Grey and his second-in-command, Trooper Styles, continued to search for Caleb Dume on the surface of the planet Calla. Dume had joined up with a local on the planet named Casimir as a scoundrel participating in many criminal activities to survive. Unfortunately, after a job Caleb Dume was given went wrong, Casimir immediately sold him out and gave up his location to Commander Grey and Styles. The locals on the planet were holding Caleb Dume in a prison cell, awaiting the arrival of Commander Grey, but fortunately Casimir came back to rescue Dume because he felt bad for giving him up to the clones. As Casimir travelled back to the cell where Caleb Dume was being held, Commander Grey found him and held him at gunpoint, demanding to know the true location of Dume. Casimir refused to give up the young Jedi's location, claiming that he had separated from him long before. The two clones continued their sweep of the planet, eventually managing to ambush Caleb Dume, who had joined forces with the Separatist General Cleve from the earlier battle on Kaller. They then knocked Dume unconscious so that they could take him prisoner aboard their ship. While transporting Dume back to the planet Kaller, where their base camp still was, Commander Grey and Styles decided that they would have to execute him on the spot because he was too dangerous to be kept alive. Caleb Dume begged for his life, reminding them of the friendship that they had only a few short days ago. His begging managed to buy enough time for Casimir and the former separatist, Cleve, to catch up with Commander Grey's ship, hoping to rescue him. Once his two allies arrived on the ship, Caleb Dume force-pushed the two clones away and managed to make his escape. Now, it is very possible that this force push actually damaged the inhibitor chip of Commander Grey because he began having huge doubts about executing Order 66 and killing his former friend directly after. It really is heartbreaking to see Palpatine's mind control wear off of Commander Grey and see him realize that what he is doing did not come from his own mind. Despite easily having enough firepower to kill Caleb Dume, more serious doubts clouded his mind about why the clones really obeyed Order 66 so easily. He shared his doubts about Order 66 with Trooper Styles, but he disagreed, stating that the Jedi attempted to kill the Supreme Chancellor and take power for themselves and are therefore traitors to the Republic. After failing to convince Styles that Order 66 was not a decision of their own mind, Commander Grey snapped and decided to completely disobey it. Grey pulled his blaster rifle out and destroyed the controls of the ship, crippling its defenses, allowing it to be brutally attacked without protection. After Caleb Dume was brought to safety, Casimir and General Cleve fired upon Commander Grey and Trooper Styles' ship, destroying it, killing both of the clones. Commander Grey's heroic actions ultimately saved the life of Caleb Dume. We don't fully know whether it was a damaged inhibitor chip or pure willpower, but Commander Grey's mind refused to accept the command of Palpatine, causing him to disobey Order 66 and save the life of a Jedi. I really think that after Caleb Dume force-pushed Grey, the inhibitor chip was damaged, allowing him to disobey Order 66. Either way, let me know why you think Commander Grey was strong enough to disobey Palpatine's order. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, remember to subscribe to the channel and support me on Patreon, which is linked in the pinned comment down below. Cheers guys, hope to see you in the next one.